Greetings, everyone, and welcome back to the Ropeadope Room, just outside the great city of Philadelphia. My name is Lewis, and I'm here in what was once the Ropeadope office, but is now a visual recording studio where we connect with artists around the world and bring you a variety of programs. Today, we're going to dive into session 4 of Under the Sonic Hood, episode 1, which is a conversation with Derek Nievergelt about his album, The Jewels. If you're not familiar, drummer and founder of Modern Icon Recordings, Mr. Adrian Harpham, conceived of this program to really dig into how each song was made right down the street at Gradwell House Studios behind the big board. So without further ado, let's jump in and join Adrian Harpham and Derek Nievergelt.
Song? What do you think? Yeah, let's listen to this bad boy. I don't hear anything.
Me either. It's because it's the beginning of the stem.
That's you playing piano.
Okay. And it's also my stereo spring reverb.
Rachmaninoff.
Yeah. This is totally something Rachmaninoff would do.
It sort of reminds me of.
A friend of mine listened to it and he was like, man, that sounds like it's like a different guy playing bass drum and a different guy playing snare drum. And I was like, that's a great idea. I love that picture.
I am multiple people, so.
That's what my shrink says.
So, what's that sound? The
oh, that's in here.
A zither type sound.
It's a marxophone. That's Joel Hamilton.
Joel Hamilton playing that.
That was it. That was
he playing with a pick or like a?
It's a hammer.
Oh, he was hammering it.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't remember because I came in with like barely I just came in with bass lines and chords, right?
Yeah.
And then Joel limited us to the 2 takes to get the basics down.
That's right. That's right.
And we were all feeling kind of like, what are we doing? And then he was like, all right, I got an idea. And then we were in the control room, and suddenly Joel's with instruments in the room, and he's playing this stuff.
Got it.
But this was the first thing track.
So piano is you to start, inception, piano to a click.
Like, that's the guide thing.
Piano to a click.
Mm-hmm. That's how this started.
Rachmaninoff.
Rachmaninoff was down with the funk.
Yeah. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
And Joel. Component 2 is Joel.
This is Joel too. He was playing like really weird like guitar sliding effects.
Oh, that's him. Those kind of moaning things. All right.
Yeah, this is like the stem has like all the extra pianers.
So then, what was tracked next after these 2 things?
Well, we started like this, right? This is how this. This is what we started.
Oh, it started with the drums.
Drums. Well,
Piano.
we started with piano and then drums, electric guitar, which is Al doing some sparse noises right now. there's this guitar part. Al overdubbed this guitar part. This part is cool. With and then while we were tracking the session, Joel was like, "Cool, on this acoustic guitar, I'm gonna put that shimmer effect."
That's right. He was,
which I recreated later after in the mix.
He was real time mixing us to sound like a 1940s soundtrack or whatever. Like Citizen Kane meets Bonanza.
Yes.
Or something.
Yes. Oh yeah.
What? And then your bass line with the pick is done later, right?
No, we did that. That was
live.
Bass, drums, and the electric guitar were on the first. Let me scroll this guy back to like. This was edited down so much because this thing was 14 minutes long. So we started like this. This was us. And there's like ghost drums in there, you know? Because you and Al are in the same room. I'm in the control room with Joel, but behind that, his SSL.
Okay.
And you guys, and like, this is like, I mean, honestly, you should check it out. That's your bleed in the guitar, in the guitar. And then like, I mean, there's more buzz in that guitar amp than hear that? That's a guitar amp. Plus you ghost in the, you know, because that's just behind a baffle or whatever. I mean, this is like, there's more than anything else in it.
But there's percussion?
Percussion is all the marxophone.
Oh, the marxophone, okay.
I just called it perk because I didn't know what to call it. I should have just called it Joel.
Chair?
Choir. That's me and Karlie. I overdubbed that maybe a year and a half ago. Karlie Bruce. We set up one omnidirectional microphone in my room, in my studio, and I gave like 2 basic, and then she did cool stuff like that. And there's a lot of buzz. Sorry, I love buzz.
Embrace the buzz.
Karlie and I gave her. We had basic melodies and themes that we were gonna work with. Mm-hmm. And then we would just adjust around like this situation, right?
Yeah.
So I would sing further away, she'd be closer or whatever. We just went all around and we tracked like, I don't know, like 12 things. And then later in mixing, I just like, and she's like, she would do things like that. And then I always put delay because I don't know how to live without delay.
You were delay reliant.
Dude, me and my tape delay were homies.
Yeah.
Like, we
You're
chill.
a little codependent.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's you.
She's in there too. She's in that high stuff. I mean, this is a lot of ducking. I have to ride these because it's like these two. It's always like a mono stem with 2 voices in it. Yeah. So like it was fun. It was really fun finding the ways of balancing this out. That's my.
I'm scared. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I had that theme and just let her go nuts.
Yeah.
And then.
Another thing about these drums, you have to take the choir off. It sounds big, right? But I tracked it really, like literally tapping, like very quiet.
I love how these drums are just like, oh, where's that? There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're barely touching it.
Yeah.
And there's Al back there, right? You can hear Al in there.
Yeah.
And he's like doing this stuff, by the way. Just
detuning.
Yeah, he's like, he's being the genius that he is.
Yeah.
That guy. But, yeah.
What was the overall intent that we were trying to get across with this piece?
On this one,
this was the first piece we did, by the way. This is day one.
Yeah, this was like the proof of concept. We had been on the road for some like 4 or 5 week thing. You and Al in Europe.
Yeah.
And while we were making Robin McKell's Soulflower record, right? We were talking about this, and I think Joel overheard us in this thing and was like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
And then you were mixing something with Joel, so another artist.
I was mixing Julie Brown's.
Right, and then
never came out.
I think you dropped it into his consciousness one more time, and then you think you told me, and then I just buzzed up Joel, and I was like, "Bro, you into this?" And he's like, "I'm really into this." But he had just started. He was just in the process, I think, of finishing the new Studio G.
That's right.
So we were one of the first sessions in the new Studio G, the giant A room with his massive SSL that he just got, and all his outboard.
Yeah.
And I had sketches.
A wall of outboard.
And I was feeling kind of guilty because I didn't really write anything, right?
There's a bunch of half-baked.
Yeah, definitely half-baked.
Beginnings of cool ideas. Yeah.
Right? And then we got in, and how we all like took to our roles kind of set the pace for every other song we did. And we did like a song a day, and I think we did like 7 days, 6 days.
I think it was 8.
It was 8 days.
I think it was actually 8 days.
Yeah.
I was surprised that we actually went over. And in New York, this is impossible to get.
It's totally
people,
impossible.
Cats 7 days in a row at a studio. But Joel needed to test the studio, and we were all off the road, so we didn't really have that much to do.
Yeah. I remember feeling a little bit guilty about keeping people from like sleeping after being on the road, and like, you know, because Joel was there full staff, and But I think this really like. Yeah, I mean, it came together and gave hope for like the rest of the session, because I was pretty damn anxious.
Absolutely. About
like, what are we gonna do with my like little sketch things? Yeah. And then, but I mean, we all pulled it together. Everybody did their role and like made it happen. You know.
No, this record was like a precursor for a lot of other things that you could actually show up to a studio with barely anything or nothing and make a record on the spot that is viable.
I mean, I think what was really key in making this was that the fact that the three of us just played together for years, all the time on the road.
Yeah,
right.
For like the last 2 years or last year and a half, or
something like that, right? And then all the time that you and I spend talking about aesthetics and what makes something cool versus not, and what the fine line of writing,
and who we thought were uncool, and
who was uncool, who was cool,
and who we thought sucked, and we talked a lot about that.
There was definitely some snobbiness going on. No. I mean, some music snobbiness. I mean, we were just talking like, why is this
whack?
I mean, my biggest question is like, and the one thing I love. I mean, I'm a huge Donny Hathaway fan, and whatever Donny does, it's never corny. No. But then you hear people covering it, and then suddenly it's corny, right? So what is that fine line that you got to ride? And so that was one of the things that I repeatedly discussed in planes, trains, and automobiles. Yeah. Right? Like, about like what makes something corny. And then I know we talked about hypnotism a lot too. Yeah. About the repeated riffs and that they hypnotic. Like, that's like kind of like, I mean, drony kind of vibes there. Yeah.
And why is Wayne Shorter a magician? Yeah. And why is Joe Virtuosic Cat, who wins all the awards, not a magician?
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, why does this music touch you
Joe
and last for decades, really, and you know, and then other people, they just play one note and it's just affects you for. Yeah. So it was all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Wait, play it again. Play everything in.
When I did a consolidate, I didn't quite start from the beginning. Wow.
I think we can wind down on this one. So,
yeah, totally. Yeah, I think we covered it. In the 6.5 years it took to get this thing to this point, this was my because it was the proof of concept thing. So the first one I took to tackle editing it down from 15 to 4.5 or whatever it is now, and I tried to clean it up. I tried to clean the schmutz out of it. As soon as I did that, it lost its soul. And I remember sending a mastered version that I made of it to Karlie, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's clean."
No, I heard the version too.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, this ain't it. This is not it. Yeah,
because it was there at the outset. It was there that day.
It was there that day. Yeah, so I just embraced the schmutz. Yeah. Added some more schmutz.
The jankiness is the defining quality.
I mean, this is like what you're drumming me on here. Like, just I love it. It's so nonchalant. Yeah. In a very purposeful way. You know what I mean? Like it's like
grimy and pimp-like.
Best.
Yeah, it's
raise the cheese.
Yeah, it was right there. We were all owning our space.
Yeah,
I think